Now it's time to bring an alumnus up to stage. Our next Ignite speaker spends his days working in the classroom as a high school teacher in Florida. He still finds the time to be an outstanding volunteer for this fraternity by serving as a facilitator for RLA, President's Academy, and Leadership Institute, in addition to serving as a province governor. He is here to show us how he brings his professional life and his fraternal life together. His speech is titled, Education, How to Teach Our Principles. I'm excited to introduce our next speaker, Matt Panzano, Florida, 2011.
One of our American founding fathers said, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn." Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, it's a typical Tuesday afternoon in my classroom, and one of my students, Victoria, comes running in. She says, "Mr. Panzano, can we eat in here for lunch?" I say, "Of course you can," because I'm polite. So Victoria and her friends come in, they start eating, and then all of a sudden she stops and she says, "Mr. P, why do you let us eat lunch in here every day?" And of course, if you know me, if you've met me, always looking for that life lesson moment, that teaching moment. I can just slip in there and make a difference. Well, I say, "Well, Victoria, it's because I believe in promoting friendship." And like typical teenagers, they just start cracking up, right? And she's like, "That's like so mythical." It's like, oh, okay. She doesn't get it, I get that. But Victoria and her friends always ate in my classroom because to them it was a sanctuary. Any idea that they had could be talked about in my classroom. Any problem that they had could be discussed in my classroom. And anything that they wanted to learn about the world could be learned in my classroom. You see, I teach a subject called AP Human Geography. It's modern social studies. But one of the key concepts in that is this idea of globalization. The global market. We're all competing against each other. And the number one question that comes out of that is, how do I get ahead? Well, I think I figured it out. But before I tell you that, I got to tell you a quick story. So, in March, I took a group of students to China to an event called the Global Student Leaders Summit, where 500 American students and 500 Chinese students got together and started talking about innovations of how to solve issues like pollution and energy. It was incredible to watch. And while I'm there, I'm walking around, and I happen to meet a guy named Dr. Kwan. I shake hands with him, make some small talk, and then he goes off. I didn't really know who Dr. Kwan was until I opened the program. And it turned out that Dr. Kwan was the CEO of Samsung. Yeah, story of my life, right? That one got away. But he got up on the stage, like I did now. He gave a keynote address, and in that, something stuck out to me. He mentioned his cultural background, and what he went into was how we have to learn the wisdom and the knowledge of men before us, and we have to teach that to others if we are to reach our full potential. And in that very moment, I thought about Delta Upsilon. I thought about the principles that have been instilled in me. I thought about the oath that I have taken an honor to uphold every single day of my life. And that's when I realized that's the key to success. That's the wisdom. Delta Upsilon is the greatest fraternity in existence. Not because we have the most men, not because we have the highest GPA. Those are added bonuses. We are the greatest fraternity in existence because we have taken the greatest principles that a fraternity can offer and diffused it on a global scale. We're the only one doing it. I challenge any other fraternity to do what we do. Just look at GSI. So, what I've done is I have rephrased each one of our principles. I'm going to teach you how to teach the principles to your brothers, because one of the hardest things about being a brother of Delta Upsilon is teaching what we know. That's one of the hardest parts of life, is teaching what we know. So here we go. First, the advancement of selflessness. Because if you think about it, in order to advance true justice, we have to act selflessly. And to quote one of my favorite guys of all time, Albus Dumbledore, he says we must make a choice between what is right and what is easy. And let me tell you, they're never the same. The right thing is very rarely the easiest thing to do. Think about any superhero you've ever heard of. Batman, Superman. At some point, they had to make a huge personal sacrifice to provide true justice to those around them. Material possessions gone, loves of their life, dead. That is sacrifice. That is selflessness. In Rite 1 of Initiation, it says that the battles of justice are infinite, and her champions are ever needed to serve her cause. Well, they wrote that over a century ago. I'd say that our founding fathers had it on the money. They knew exactly what was going on. They knew what it truly was to be selfless. We all took an oath. We swore that we would do that. Now, for those of us that are not superheroes, we can do things in everyday life. We can stand up to a bully who's picking on someone for their race or their religion or their sexual orientation. We can help adopt a child who has no home or no hope. Or just very simply, you can be a mentor. You can guide someone who in this crazy globalized world needs some guidance. You can be a selfless hero any day. You can be a champion to someone that needs it. That is within you. You're a DU man. Second, the promotion of compassion. Because if we don't have compassion, how can we ever truly spark that bond that should ever exist between brothers? And not just brothers, our friends and our family. You need to empathize with someone. Don't just sympathize with them. Don't just feel bad for them because something happened. If something happens to a person, a death in the family, an alcohol problem, and you have had that experience in your life to empathize with someone, you need to dig deep down and go back into that memory and pull it out and say, I know what you have gone through. Here I am. Don't just sympathize, empathize. Promote compassion. Have you ever thought about, if you've ever seen a soldier on a plane, just giving up your seat for him so he can have a comfortable ride, here we go, on his way to war? Have you ever thought about just stopping on the side of the road for that person that had a flat tire, even if it's raining? Third, the development of self-confidence. Because if we develop character, we may fail and try again and again and again. Guess what? Please do something for me. If you have tried at something in your life and you have failed, please stand up and be recognized. If you have failed at least once in your life at something, stand up right now and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you all. You can be seated. You know why I thank you? I thank you for trying. Because guess what? The first step to success is to try. Then you try again. Try a third time. Try it a little differently. Try it again tomorrow. Try asking someone for help. Just keep trying. If I ask my high school students, how many of you have failed? All the hands go up. How many of you tried again? Half the hands go up. We are educating a group of students in this society that are being taught that failure is not an option. That if you don't bubble in as dark as you can on that multiple choice sheet, you will not succeed. I don't agree with that. We, as DU men, need to be the motivators and the coaches and the spiritual leaders. When times are tough and the odds are stacked against someone and they're down on their knees, we need to pick them up. We need to support everyone around us, and we need to teach that to other people, not just brothers. Teach that to your family members. I teach that to my students. Right? We need to be supporting people like Josh Katz running for school board in Orange County. We need to be supporting that guy. And the last one, and this one took a very long time, the diffusion of mutual respect. Diffusion of mutual respect. Delta Upsilon fraternity does not discriminate. Period. We accept people of all races, all religions, all sexual orientations, all political beliefs, all tastes of culture. We need to show others what mutual respect is like. You could be as far left or as far right on the political spectrum as you want to be. I don't care, because no matter what your opinion is, I will respect it. I don't have to agree with it, but I will respect it. Something little seen in this day and age. Another topic that's very hot right now, gay marriage. I'll tell you right now, openly, I support gay marriage. I myself am not homosexual. That's okay. I support that. I also support people that disagree with me because they have a right to an opinion. And that is one of the hardest things to do. We need to enlighten ourselves. We need to take the advice of Dr. Kwan and see it from someone else's point of view. We need to allow ourselves to be open-minded. Now, the truth is, how do we know if what we teach, if what I teach my students, if what you teach your brothers, will actually have an impact down the road? Will we see the long-term effect? Well, I'll tell you right now, as a teacher, the truth is you probably won't. But on the last day of school, kids are cleaning out their lockers. Some girl next to my classroom opens her locker, bam, everything falls out. Binders, we've all been there. And Victoria comes running down the hall. She says, oh, yeah, I'm going to help you. And the girl says, no, it's okay. You don't have to help. And Victoria says, no, it's all right. I like promoting friendship. Lesson learned. Thank you.